Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that, well, I think is on a lot of parents' minds.
Definitely.
How to navigate this intense journey of parenting with a bit more calm, maybe more connection.
Through mindful parenting, yeah. We're
Uh,
looking at the report 009, Mindful Parenting, Presence and Practice.
right, digging into what it is, why it helps, and crucially, how you actually do it day to day.
Cutting through some of that noise, maybe. All the advice out there.
Exactly. Get to something practical, grounded, because if you're listening, you probably know that feeling.
Oh, yeah. The juggling, the stress, the distractions.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's kind of the modern parenting default, isn't it? Being a bit overwhelmed.
It really seems like it sometimes.
And what's important here, I think, is that mindful parenting isn't pitched as another task on the list.
No, not at all. It's more of a shift, a fundamental shift in how you approach everything.
So how would you define it then at its core?
Well, it's about intentionally bringing your awareness,
Mm.
your attention, to the present moment.
Yeah.
Right. In your relationship with your kids, choosing to be there.
Okay. Choosing to be present.
Yeah.
And there was something about non-judgment.
Yes, exactly. With non-judgment and kindness towards yourself and your child.
Okay, let's unpack that. Intentionally bringing awareness to the present moment. What does that actually look like? When the milk spills or whatever.
Right. It means consciously choosing in that moment to pay attention to what's actually happening.
No, not just reacting.
Trying not, noticing your own stuff, your thoughts, feelings, maybe your shoulders tensing up.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And also really tuning in to your child. What are they going through? Their feelings, their needs right then.
So the basis for all this is mindfulness itself.
Absolutely. That's the bedrock. John Kabat-Zinn.
The MBSR guy, yeah?
Right. His definition is great. The awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally.
To the unfolding of experience moment by moment. Okay.
So the key parts are present moment, doing it on purpose,
Intentionally.
and that non-judgmental piece.
Right, like an attitude of acceptance, kindness, curiosity even.
Exactly that. Those three things.
Yeah.
Present focus, intention, and that specific attitude.
And this comes from like ancient traditions, Buddhism.
It has deep roots there, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been adapted into secular practices now, like mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR.
Which helps people manage stress, pain.
Right, by changing their relationship to their thoughts and feelings, observing them, not getting quite so hooked,
Okay, so mindful parenting takes those core ideas.
and applies them directly to raising kids. Mila and John Kabat-Zinn call it paying attention to your child and your parenting in a particular way,
Yeah.
intentionally, here and now, and non-judgmentally.
So noticing the child's behavior, needs, emotions.
Yes, but also, and this is crucial, noticing your own internal experience while it's all happening.
Your reactions, your feelings as a parent.
Exactly. And there's a helpful model from Duncan and colleagues. It breaks mindful parenting into 5 core dimensions.
Okay, 5 dimensions. Let's hear them.
First one, listening with full attention.
Which is more than just hearing words, I guess.
Oh, much more. It's
Yeah.
really tuning in. Tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, all those nonverbal cues.
Trying to understand the feeling underneath the words.
Precisely. And it means setting aside distractions. Your phone, obviously, but also that mental chatter, the to-do list.
Okay, that sounds aspirational. Is constant full attention even possible?
Probably not, realistically. And the report acknowledges that. But it's about the intention.
The intention to listen fully when you can.
Yeah, and communicating that. Like, I really want to hear this. Can you give me 1 minute? Prioritizing that connection.
Okay, that makes sense. What's number 2?
Non-judgmental acceptance of self and child.
Acceptance. Okay,
Yeah.
what does that mean in practice? Accepting tantrums.
Well, not condoning misbehavior. It's more about seeing the situation clearly, without jumping to labels or harsh judgment.
So, trying to understand why it's happening.
Yes, and being aware of our own biases, accepting our child's unique traits, even the challenging ones, and accepting our own imperfections as parents, too.
Without beating ourselves up.
Exactly. It's linked to self-compassion.
Yeah.
It's about conveying that fundamental acceptance of the child as a person, even while you're setting limits on behavior.
Yeah.
Respecting their sovereignty almost.
I like that. Seeing the person behind the behavior. Okay, dimension 3.
Emotional awareness of self and child. Recognizing emotions, yours and theirs, as they come up.
Because those big feelings can just take over, right?
Okay.
Lead to automatic reactions.
Totally. So identifying the emotion, okay, I'm feeling really frustrated right now, creates a bit of space.
A pause.
Yeah, a pause to choose a response
Mhm.
instead of just reacting. And it means being okay with uncomfortable feelings, yours or theirs, without needing to fix them instantly.
Just letting them be there for a moment, observing them.
Kind of, yeah. It's sometimes called decentering. Seeing the feeling without being completely swamped by it. This helps you spot your triggers too, those patterns.
Okay, so awareness first. What's number 4?
Self-regulation in the parenting relationship. This is actively managing those impulses and reactions.
Using that pause we just talked about.
Exactly. Especially in tricky moments. Pausing before you react lets you act intentionally, based on your values, not just frustration.
So you respond instead of just react.
That's the goal. And it also means proactively teaching kids about emotions, helping them understand and manage their own feelings, modeling it.
Right, showing them how it's done. And the last one, number 5.
Compassion for self and child, extending kindness, empathy.
Towards the child, that makes sense. Understanding their needs, comforting them.
Yes, offering warmth and support, but also, crucially, compassion for yourself.
Being kinder to ourselves about the struggles.
Absolutely. Accepting mistakes, avoiding that harsh self-blame. It's vital for resilience, for bouncing back.
So you don't get stuck in feeling like a failure.
Right. It lets you learn and regroup.
Mhm.
And these 5 dimensions, they all weave together. They reinforce each other.
I can see that. Listening requires emotional awareness. Acceptance needs compassion.
Exactly. It's a whole interconnected approach.
Okay, so we have these 5 dimensions. How does this mindful approach fit with, the standard parenting styles? Authoritarian, authoritative?
That's a good question. It's not usually seen as a separate style, like those based on warmth and control levels.
So it's not like authoritative versus mindful.
No, it's more like a set of qualities or an approach that influences how you parent, whatever your underlying style might lean towards.
Ah.
Although research does show a strong link between mindful parenting and the authoritative style.
Which is the high warmth, high boundaries one, generally seen as most effective.
Exactly. Mindful parents often naturally show more authoritative traits. The key difference is the emphasis.
How so?
Traditional styles focus more on the external behaviors, the rules, the affection shown. Mindful parenting really highlights the parent's internal experience.
Self-awareness, regulation, non-judgment, compassion.
Yes, how that inner state shapes the outward interactions.
So it's the way you set the boundary, not just that you set it.
Precisely. Think about mindful discipline. It aligns with that authoritative focus on teaching, not just punishing.
Understanding the why behind the behavior.
Yes, and teaching better ways to cope, rather than just making kids suffer consequences. Kabat-Zinn says it's not permissive or controlling. It's setting boundaries from awareness and generosity, not fear.
So it enriches whatever style you use, guiding you towards more presence and connection.
That's a great way to put it. It's about cultivating a certain way of being with your child.
Okay, that clarifies the what. Now, let's get into the why. What are the actual benefits here? For parents, for kids?
The benefits are pretty significant, really, for parents' well-being, for child development, and for the relationship itself.
Okay, let's start with the parents. What's in it for us, besides maybe feeling a bit calmer?
Well, that stress reduction is a big one, and it's well documented. Mindfulness helps you cope better.
How? By just noticing the stress without getting totally lost in it?
Exactly. Observing those overwhelming thoughts and feelings with a bit more distance, less reactivity.
I could definitely use some of that. What else?
Improved emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Being more aware of your triggers, using that pause, it helps you respond more calmly, intentionally.
Breaking those cycles of yelling or frustration.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
It builds increased self-awareness, too. Understanding your own patterns, beliefs, triggers.
Knowing why you react the way you do.
Right. Which lets you make more conscious choices. And it fosters enhanced self-compassion.
Being kinder to ourselves, less critical.
Yes. Accepting imperfection, reducing self-blame, which is huge for resilience.
It really is easy to get caught in that not good enough trap.
It is. And all these things
Yeah.
together, less stress, better regulation, more awareness, self-compassion, they lead to greater parental satisfaction and well-being.
Feeling more fulfilled, more positive emotions.
Yeah, aligning your actions with your values, finding more joy in the day-to-day moments.
Okay, those are compelling benefits for parents. What about the impact on the kids?
Equally significant. First off, kids tend to develop improved emotional regulation skills themselves.
Because they see their parents modeling it.
That's a big part of it. Plus, mindful parents are often better at validating feelings, teaching emotional awareness, and fostering that secure attachment.
Which is foundational for so much, right?
Yeah.
Emotional safety.
Absolutely. That secure base allows for healthy development. And research links mindful parenting to reduced behavioral problems.
Few internalizing things like anxiety or externalizing things like aggression.
Exactly. Meta-analyses show improvements in youth outcomes.
Wow.
We also see enhanced social competence and pro-social behavior, better social skills, more empathy, helping, sharing.
So generally raising kinder, more socially adept kids.
That seems to be the trend.
Okay.
And potentially even enhanced creativity, maybe because the environment feels safer for exploration.
Interesting.
And finally, all this contributes to increased resilience in children. They learn better coping skills, have that secure base, feel understood. It helps them bounce back from challenges.
It sounds like a positive feedback loop. Mindful parents raise more regulated kids.
Pretty much. Parental mindfulness leads to mindful practices, which reduces parent stress, improves their regulation,
Which leads to warmer parenting, better relationships.
secure attachment, and ultimately, better child outcomes. It all connects.
And those benefits for parents aren't just side effects, they actually enable better parenting.
Exactly. It's hard to be present and patient when you're depleted or super self-critical. Your own well-being fuels your capacity to parent mindfully.
So nurturing ourselves helps us nurture our kids better.
Absolutely. And it can act as a buffer, too, against other stresses like mental health issues or difficult temperaments.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly worthwhile.
Yeah.
So the how. How do we actually cultivate this? What are the techniques?
Right, the practical stuff. It's really two things. Building your own foundational mindfulness skills and then applying them specifically to parenting moments.
Like building a muscle. Practice the basics first.
Exactly. Regular practice makes the skills stronger and more accessible when you need them.
So what are some good foundational practices for busy parents?
Mindful breathing is number one. Super simple, always available. Just noticing the sensation of your breath in and out.
Without trying to change it.
Right, just observing. And gently bringing your attention back when your mind wanders, which it will.
No judgment about the mind wandering.
Nope, that's just what minds do. You could do it for just a minute or two,
Mm-hmm.
or use it in stressful moments. Variations like counting breaths or 4-7-8 breathing can help too.
Okay, doable. What else?
The body scan. Systematically bringing awareness to different parts of your body, noticing sensations.
Like noticing tension you didn't realize you had.
Exactly. Or warmth, tingling, whatever's there.
Yeah.
Without judgment. It grounds you in your physical experience. You can do longer formal ones or just quick check-ins during the day.
Checking in with the body. Got it.
Then there's observing thoughts and feelings. Learning to notice them as just mental events, clouds passing by.
Not absolute truths or orders.
Right. Observing with curiosity, not getting swept away.
Mhm.
Sometimes just labeling the feeling, frustration, can lessen its grip. It's key for reducing reactivity.
Noticing without getting tangled up. Okay.
And mindful observation, using your senses.
Mhm.
Intentionally noticing sights, sounds, smells, tastes, textures around you.
Like at the classic raisin exercise.
Yeah, or just applying it to everyday things. Mindful eating, really tasting your food. It anchors you in the now.
Okay, those are the foundations. How do we apply these specifically to parenting interactions?
Great question. One very practical tool is the STOP method
Hmm.
for challenging moments.
STOP. What does that stand for?
Stop, just pause.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Focus on your breath. Observe, notice what's happening inside you and outside you non-judgmentally.
Right.
And proceed, choose an intentional response.
Stop. Take a breath. Observe. Proceed. That's a great little structure for hitting pause.
It really helps interrupt reactivity.
Yeah.
Then there's mindful listening, giving your child your full undivided attention.
Setting the phone down, tuning in.
Yes, making eye contact, listening for the feelings behind the words, reflecting back what you hear, showing them they're truly heard.
Which requires managing our own distractions.
Definitely. Another one is non-judgmental observation of your child, watching their behavior, expressions, emotions with curiosity, not immediate labels.
Seeing them clearly separate from the good or bad behavior label.
Exactly. It gives you insights into their needs and development. And then there's the simple mindful pausing.
Just creating that tiny gap before responding.
Yeah, especially when you feel triggered. It breaks the automatic reaction cycle. Foundational practices like breathing support this.
That pause seems critical.
It really is. And finally, actively developing compassion for yourself and your child.
We talked about self-compassion earlier. How do we practice it?
Actively cultivating kindness toward yourself. Recognizing struggles are human. Treating yourself like you'd treat a friend. Self-compassion breaks kinder self-talk. It prevents burnout.
And compassion for the child.
Intentionally fostering warmth, empathy. Trying to see their perspective. Responding with support, especially when they're hurting. Loving-kindness meditation can help here.
So these techniques all work together, supported by the foundational skills.
Absolutely. Your ability to pause, listen compassionately, it comes from that underlying mindfulness muscle you build. That pause is where awareness gives you choice.
Shifting from reactive downstairs brain to thoughtful upstairs brain
This is
responses.
a great analogy. Yes, exactly that.
Okay, so we have the what, the why, the how, but let's get real. How do we actually integrate this into messy, busy family life?
Ah, the million-dollar question. It's about finding realistic ways to weave it in, not necessarily adding huge new things.
Practical strategies for parents who feel like they have zero extra time.
Absolutely. First, embrace micro moments. Tiny bits of awareness, a conscious breath while waiting for the microwave, really tasting that first sip of coffee, feeling your feet on the floor.
Little moments add up.
They really do. Second, habit stacking. Link a mini practice to something you already do.
Like one mindful breath after brushing teeth.
Perfect. Or a quick body scan while coffee brews. Connected to an existing habit. Third, utilize mindful transitions.
Using the gaps between activities.
Yeah, the drive home from work to let go of stress.
Ah.
A quick brain dump before you walk in the door. Using those moments to reset.
Instead of just rushing from one thing to the next.
Right. Also, try to cultivate single tasking when you can. Focus on one thing playing with your child. Washing dishes instead of constant multitasking.
Which is the default sometimes.
It is. And lastly, set daily intentions. Just a simple intention in the morning to bring awareness to, say, listening during homework time.
Okay, those are good general strategies. What about specific routines, like meals or bedtime?
Huge opportunities there. Meal times, mindful eating, slow down, no screens, engage senses, maybe a moment of gratitude.
Making it a connecting time, not just refueling.
Exactly. Bedtime, calming rituals, reading together fully present, gentle breathing exercises like teddy bear breathing, a simple body scan, sharing gratitudes. Helps everyone wind down.
Turning routines into mindful connection points.
Yes, even chores. Focus on the sensory experience, colors, water, sounds. Make it a noticing game. Do chores together mindfully.
I like that. And playtime.
Playtime. Put distractions away. Fully engage, follow their lead, share their joy. Recognize play is important work for them.
Being fully present in their world.
And even tricky daily transitions. Use warnings, visual timers, offer choices. These mindful approaches reduce conflict.
So it's often about how we approach existing activities.
Exactly. Now, applying it to harder stuff. Managing tantrums. First, regulate yourself. Pause. Breathe. Then validate their feeling non-judgmentally. I see you're really mad.
Be the calm anchor.
Yes. Hold necessary boundaries firmly but respectfully. Focus on co-regulation, understanding the need behind the behavior. Maybe try time in instead of time out.
Acknowledge feeling, state limit, offer choice.
That's a good framework for navigating discipline. Shift from punishment to teaching. Understand the root cause. Use clear, positive language. Use gentle hands.
Clear boundaries, logical consequences aimed at teaching.
Right. Not shaming. Model respect. Apologize when you mess up. Avoid labels, yelling, threats.
Okay. And conflicts or difficult conversations.
Handling conflict. Mindful listening is key. Hear them out. Pause to regulate your emotions. Acknowledge both sets of feelings non-judgmentally. Approach with curiosity. Seek to understand their view. Work toward solutions together.
Okay. And those daily stressors like the morning rush.
Daily stressors. Reframe routines, maybe build in more time. Use mindful pauses during transitions. Notice and name the stress without judgment. Adjust expectations.
So no, it really is about shifting the approach.
Largely, yes. And remember modeling. How you respond teaches them. Doing simple, mindful activities together is powerful too.
It's that blend of internal calm and skillful external actions.
That's it, exactly. Internal capacity meets external skills.
Okay, this sounds great, but we know it's not always easy. What are the common roadblocks people hit?
Oh, definitely. It's a path with obstacles. Time constraints and busyness are huge. Fatigue and exhaustion, hard to be mindful when you're wiped out. Our own emotional reactivity and triggers. Old habits die hard. Perfectionism, expecting to be perfectly mindful all the time.
Setting ourselves up for failure.
Pretty much. Distractions, especially tech, just maintaining consistency can be tough. And sometimes child resistance or difficult behavior makes it really hard.
External judgment, too.
Yeah, external pressures. And sometimes mindfulness just feels abstract at first.
That's a relatable list. So what's the advice for navigating these?
Okay, strategies. First, start small and be realistic. Intention over perfection. Progress is the goal.
Tiny steps.
Yes. Second, prioritize self-care. Seriously, sleep, food, movement, quiet moments. It's essential fuel, not selfish.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. Third, and maybe most important, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially after tough moments. Acknowledge the struggle. Apologize if needed. Learn, recommit.
Forgive yourself and try again.
Yes. Fourth, identify your triggers and patterns. Self-awareness is key. What sets you off? Reflecting on your own history can help.
Understand the root.
Fifth, utilize the pause. Build that habit. Use breathing or STOP. Sixth, seek support. Partner, friends, groups, therapists. Don't go it alone.
Lean on others.
Seventh, manage distractions. Set tech boundaries. Practice single tasking. Eighth, be patient and consistent. It takes time. Regular practice matters.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Totally. And finally, try to view challenges as opportunities for growth, for practice.
Reframe the difficult moments.
Yes, and notice how these are linked. Self-compassion helps with perfectionism and reduces stress. It's both internal shifts and practical strategies.
Progress over perfection. It sounds like a sustainable path.
That's the aim. Supportive and sustainable.
Okay, for listeners wanting to dive deeper, where should they look? Any key resources?
Oh, absolutely. There are some fantastic books. John and Mila Kabat-Zinn's Everyday Blessings is foundational. His other books, like Wherever You Go, There You are great too.
Classic mindfulness texts.
Right. Then Daniel Siegel and collaborators, The Whole Brain Child, No Drama Discipline, Parenting from the Inside Out. Great neuroscience perspective.
The upstairs, downstairs brain stuff.
Exactly. Susan Stiffelman's Parenting Without Power Struggles and Parenting with Presence are also excellent, very practical.
Any others worth mentioning?
Yeah, Shapiro and White's Mindful Discipline, Clark Field's Raising Good Humans, Snell's Sitting Still Like a Frog for Kids, Goldie Hawn's 10 Mindful Minutes, Kennison's Mitten Strings for God, and for practitioners, Bogle's and Restavossi's Guide. Lots out there.
Definitely a good starting list. What about online options, apps, courses?
Loads of online programs, workshops, and apps. Apps like Headspace, Calm, Insight Timer have parent-focused content. Mama Zen is specifically for moms. There's a community of mindful parenting app too. Even Alexa has skills.
So accessible options right on your phone.
Yes, and online courses. Udemy has intros. Places like the Mindful Institute, Mindful Birthing, MBCP, Community of Mindful Parenting offer programs. Experts like Christine Pedersen, Hunter Clark Fields, Mitra Manesh, Susan Bogles offer various levels of courses and training.
Something for everyone, from beginner to advanced.
Pretty much. And check out organizations and communities. The Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley is amazing. Research-based articles, practices.
Practical stuff based on science.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Community of Mindful Parenting offers classes and community. Mindful Birthing focuses on pregnancy and early parenting. The Child Mind Institute has great articles too.
Lots of support structures.
And notice the theme across all these. The importance of the parent's own practice, self-care, inner work. That's the foundation.
And resources for teaching kids mindfulness too.
Yes, that's growing, thankfully.
Yeah.
Shared family practice is valuable.
Fantastic. So many pathways to explore.
It's really encouraging how much is available now.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful. Just to quickly recap, mindful parenting is about that intentional, present, non-judgmental awareness in our relationship with our kids.
Focusing on connection, understanding, well-being for everyone.
We saw the benefits: less stress, better regulation for parents.
Secure attachment, better emotional skills for kids,
Yeah.
strengthening that core bond.
And crucially, it's a journey, a practice in everyday moments, not about being perfect.
Exactly. It's about the intention, the trying again.
We really encourage everyone listening to explore some of the techniques and resources we talked about.
And maybe just consider this. The next time you interact with your child, what if you brought just a few moments of real presence to it?
How might that shift things? What possibilities could open up from that space?
Something powerful to think about.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.